Hello class. Today we're doing Green Practice 7.5. All right. Here we're on our workbook page and I'm doing even numbers while you do odd on your own. Here we go. On number 2, it tells us that the area is 48 meters squared. Our shape is a parallelogram with a height of 6 and a base of 8. So the first thing we must do is determine the formula in which we're going to use. In this case, our formula will be A, area is equal to base times height. Okay? Secondly, once we determine our formula, then we're going to plug in our values. Okay, A being 48. Our base we do not know, the letter A is there, and our height is 6. Okay, there are times we may find it necessary to rewrite our problem, and in this case I find it necessary to rewrite it so that it's in a more orderly fashion to be read. 48 is equal to 6A. Okay, now that I have done this, now I want to identify what is going on. 48 is equal to 6A, which is 6 and A are being multiplied. So I ask, whose house is it? And we determine that it is A's house. Whenever we have a variable that we do not know, that's whose house it is. And that's what we're working with, A's house. We ask who is in A's house. In this case, it is 6. And then we say, what is 6 doing? In this case, 6 is being multiplied by A. To remove 6 out of A's house, we do the inverse. The inverse of multiplying would be to divide. So our problem looks like this. 48 is equal to 6A. The inverse is to divide by 6. And therefore, 48 divided by 6, the value is 8. And A is left alone. Okay? That's problem 2. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, here we are with problem 4. Problem 4, area is equal to 144 millimeters squared. We have here A squared with 12 meters on one side and L is on the opposite side. So just as we did before, we write our formula first. Our formula for the area of a square is going to be A is equal to base times height. Okay, that's with any four-sided figure. All right, from there, from our formula, we are going to plug in. When we plug in, A is 144, B is L, and H, the height is 12. Okay, in this case, we want to rewrite it so that it is in a readable form. 144 is equal to 12L. Okay, so now from there we want to solve. Okay, 144 is equal to 12L. We say whose house is it? In this case, it is L's house. All right, and we ask ourselves, what is L doing? Who's in L's house? 12. What is it doing? Multiplying. So then we do the inverse. Instead of multiplying, we divide. So that 144 divided by 12 is 12 is equal to L. And that is our answer. Okay? Let's move on to the next one. On the next one, the problem reads, the area of the infield of track is 10,335 meters square. Find X and then round your answer. Okay? So this one is very, very interesting because we have semicircles on the end and then we have our quadrilateral or our four-sided figure in the middle. So we would need to determine the area for the whole thing. Okay? Take out the semicircles in order to determine what X is because X only covers from one semicircle to the next. Okay? So now, with that in mind, let's see what formulas we're using. The formula for semicircle, the area that is, A is equal to pi r squared divided by 2. And then the area for the quadrilateral is A is equal to base time height. Now together, they equal the 10,335, okay? But in order to find our x, we're going to need to take out the area of the semicircles and be left with the area of the quadrilateral, okay? So let's get started. All right, here we go. If we start here plugging in for A is equal to pi r squared divided by 2, then we would find then that our r is 36 based on our figure squared divided by 2, and all of that, we leave our pi for the end, okay? So then we go from there. It's 36 times 36, okay? And we will work that out over here on the side. 36 times 36, 6 times 6 is 36, 6 times 3 is 18, plus 3 is 21. Move over, then 3 times 3 is 18, 1. 3 times 3 is 9, plus 1 is 10. Add it all together. And we have 1296 for the area, our 36 squared. So this would be 1296 divided by 2. Save our pi for last. Okay? So now, let's go from there. We need to divide 1296 by 2. Okay? And so therefore, we work it out. 1296 divided by 2. How many 2's are in 12? Is 6. 12, subtract, bring down your 9. How many 2's are in 9? 4. That gives us an 8. Subtract 1, bring down your 6. How many 2's are in 16? 8. So 648 is our answer. Okay. All right. 648 is our answer. And we still have pi. So now we take our 648 and multiply it by 3.14. All right, and so we go through our process. I hope I have enough room. 4 times 8 is 32. With a 4 is 16, plus 3 is 19. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 1 is 25. Move over, 8, 4, 6. Move over again. 3 times 4 is 24. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 1 is 19. Add it all together. Okay, so now we have 203,472. Okay, all right, so now that is the total, all right, for one of our semicircles. So we got 2,304. And then, don't forget our decimal point, okay? That's what we have. So let's take that out of here. That gave us this answer. All right, but we have 2 of them, okay? So that's going to be times 2, which is going to give us 4, 4, 6, 8, Okay, so that's for our two semicircles. Now that we have this total for our two semicircles, we can take this out of the answer for the total 10,335. Okay? All right, so we need a little more board room, so let's get some. All right, so now we're going to take our 10,000, subtract our semicircles. This is 10, this is 9, this is 4. Bar again, 14. Bar again. All right, so we end up with 6,269. Okay? Now, from our 6,269, now that becomes the area of this middle part right here. Okay? And so since that is our area, then the formula for just this middle part, remember, is A is equal to base times height. So if our area is 6,269.56 and is equal to our base over here happens to be an X, and then our height in this case, half of it is 36. Half of it is 36, the other half is 36, put it together for a complete diameter of the semicircle, then we have 72. Okay, so then that becomes our formula. All right, so that 6,269.56 is equal to X times 72. So that is our formula. Let's rewrite it so that it makes logical sense. 72x. So now we say it's X house. Who's in X house is 72. And so we ask ourselves then, what must we do to remove 72? In this case, we're going to divide both sides by 72. So we divide by 72, we divide by 72, and X is going to be equal to. Okay? So we need a little more working room here. All right? Let's see if we can take some space out of here, but basically what I'm going to do, because I don't have any more room, on the side I would work out 6,269.56 divide by 72. And so I don't know my 72 timetables, but I do know my 7. So I cover by 72 here. I don't have enough at 6. I don't have enough at 62, but I have enough at 626. So if I cover the 2 as one digit, I cover the one digit of 626. And then I can ask myself, how many 7s are in 62? And that's approximately 8. So 8 is where I'm going to start. And so I multiply. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 7 is 56, plus 1 is 57. Subtract, that's 0. That's 12 minus 6 is going to give me a 5. Okay? Then I bring down my 9. All right? So I ask myself, okay, I'm going to do it again. I need to know how many 72s are in 509. And so I'm going to cover my 2, work with the 7, cover my 9, and I say how many 7s are in 50. In this case, it's approximately 7. So I'll put a 7 here. 7 times 2 is 14. 7 times 7 is 49, plus 1 is a 50. When I subtract, I'm left with the 5. I bring down a 5, and I put a decimal point here. Then I have 55, which is still not enough, so that's a 0. And that's where I will stop. Because it's an estimation, I don't need to go any further. Because even if I have a higher number here, it may move this up to a 1, that 1 still will not move to 7 as far as rounding is concerned. And it did tell us to round our answer here. Okay, it said round your answer. So we're going to round our answer. We're going to stop at 87. And so therefore, there are 87 is the measurement for the length of our rectangular portion of our inner field. Okay? Quite a bit of work on that one, but we got through it. See you in the morning.